Entertainment reporter for the Daily Telegraph. Good afternoon, Jonathan Moran. We're still waiting on for the Prime Minister to appear at this press conference, so we'll have a chat until the Prime Minister makes an appearance, and then we'll cross there. Now, let's start with coronavirus and the news that superstar Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson are suffering from the condition. Shocked the world yesterday. That really, it's just two people, but given their fame and how loved Tom Hanks is, it really made headlines all across the world.
Yeah, I think the ramifications of that are, I guess basically it just puts a human face to what's going on, because we're hearing all these names, this number of people has been infected, or an 80-something-year-old person has passed away, and I'm sorry for that. But to see Tom Hanks, a beloved film actor, but then also the ongoing effects around that. You know, he was on TV here in Australia early in the week, so the Today Extra show on Channel 9 has shut down its studio basically and had to bring in other hosts. So David Campbell's sitting at home in lockdown. So these are real knock-on effects of what's going on.
Yeah, well, Hanks and I don't know if he and his wife both arrived at the same date, but he certainly arrived in the country late January, and he's been spotted at so many holiday hotspots throughout Queensland and New South Wales. Him and Wilson were seen at Bondi RSL, one of the best RSLs in the country, having a great time, and he's been taking selfies with fans, going to restaurants, going to just all sorts of settings with lots of people, and you just wonder how many of those people will now have to go into isolation or get tested, and what measures they'll have to take.
I think, as Chris Kenny said, we need to have some calm here. Let's not have some stupidity, people running around thinking that they've got it when they don't. Let's be sane here. And if you've walked past Tom Hanks on the street, or you saw him on walking down the parade, the promenade at Bondi Beach, it's very unlikely that you will have caught it from him or his wife. But if you spent an extended period of time, if you were backstage, for example, when she was performing at the Opera House, Rita Wilson, his wife, last week, then maybe you probably do need to be tested. So let's be sensible, let's be smart about this and not be crazy.
But you'll be surprised at how precise people are. I know someone who's in isolation whose only contact was the fact that their doctor had a coffee with a doctor who's since tested positive. So their doctor hasn't tested positive, but a third person that person had a coffee with on the morning they tested positive has sent them into quarantine for 14 days. So we are getting mixed messages, and I'm with you. I think we shouldn't be alarmed. This isn't World War III. It's not going to decimate the country, but people also need to take sensible measures.
It is scary. The fact is, it is quite scary, Rita, and we spoke about it last week. I got tested myself after returning from Indonesia with a bit of a flu-like symptoms, and I was quite frankly a bit disturbed by the blasé vibe that was going on at St Vincent's Hospital in Sydney. I was since there actually yesterday, and they've really ramped up the systems in place. But you know, it's understandable that people are anxious. I feel a bit anxious today seeing things shutting down. You know, I've just written a story on Channel 10. All of their live studio audiences have been axed. They're not doing that at the moment. Ellen in the United States has cancelled her studio audiences. These are things that people, you know, as their mind's ticking over, they're realistic. So where should I be? What should I be doing? How do I protect myself, and how do I protect my loved ones?
That's it, and if the reports are accurate and all gatherings of 500 or more people are going to be banned in Australia, that's going to impact on, I think, everybody's lifestyle a little bit. Now, let's just quickly talk about the radio ratings. The first official survey of 2020 came in, and no surprises, 2GB continues to dominate in Sydney and 3AW in Melbourne. Full disclosure, I do appear on both stations, but facts are facts, Jonathan. Both stations are clear #1 in their respective markets. Tell us about how Alan Jones and Ray Hadley are travelling.
Well, look, they're travelling very well. They've been the market leaders for a long, long time. And my political views are very different to their political views, but I've got a lot of respect for both Ray Hadley and Alan Jones and Ben Fordham and other people that are on 2GB, because their job is to inform people about what's going on in the world. Whether you agree with their position or not, we've had a really difficult start to the year. We've had bushfires, we've had storms, we've got coronavirus now, and people want to be informed. So they're turning turning to places like Sky News, they're turning to places like 2GB more than ever before, and they're also reading the newspaper like the Daily Telegraph and our websites to see what is going on and be informed, because that's the only way you can really be in this place at the moment. If you don't inform yourself, then you're stupid.
Oh, absolutely. And across all the newspapers across the country, their websites absolutely dominated by coronavirus, as you'd expect, and that's what the readers are interested in. All the traffic is going right there. Now, but I do want to ask you, but a fascinating documentary that you wrote about, something that Corey Feldman's put together, where he talks about his own alleged sexual abuse and also makes the sensational claims that Charlie Sheen, Hollywood actor Charlie Sheen, allegedly raped his best friend and fellow child star Corey Haim. Tell us about that.
Yes, so Rita, the film is called My Truth, the Rape of Two Coreys. So you've got Corey Feldman and you've got Corey Haim. They were best friends from early stages of their careers when they were, say, 12 or 13.
You're too young, Jonathan, I've got to say. My Gen X age group, those two were superstars. The two Coreys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, absolutely Brad Pitt levels of stardom when they were at the height of their fame.
They were as famous as you could get. Every TV, every magazine, everywhere, people wanted a piece of them. They had their posters on the walls. And what's sort of scandalous about this, the Charlie Sheen allegations have come out before. It's not completely new, but it's the detail to which it's gone. I watched the documentary. There was a whole bunch of drama going on behind the scenes. A friend of mine was at the screening. They had to stop it live in LA. They had a screening, and at the same time, they were doing a simultaneous screening online all around the world. And that screening, the online screening, got hacked, according to Corey Feldman. I don't know the truth. I don't know what's going on, but for the next 24 hours, they played it on a constant loop, and so I caught up with it then. You know, there would be very powerful people, and I would have no doubt that those people would do what they can for this film not to be shown, because there are names named. Not as many as I would have liked, actually. I would have preferred or liked to have seen more, because this is an issue that has permeated Hollywood like a pest, like a disease, like coronavirus, and it needs to be outed.
Yeah, and it's easy to dismiss this and say he's a fantasist, he's making this up, but he did speak to the police years ago, to Santa Barbara Police, and we know with the Weinstein scandal that Hollywood's ugly underbelly does exist, so I'm not ready to dismiss this story
No,
entirely.
I think it's easy to say that Corey Feldman is a bit bonkers, and from speaking to him a number of times over the last few months, he's passionate and he's been damaged by all of these things that have happened to him, but I think he's telling the truth. That's my personal belief.
Well, Jonathan Moran, thank you for joining us today.